Hello, friends. Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo. I spent the past week or so down in Peru, and it's nice to be back up in the definite cold weather of Detroit. Talk about some astrology here. We missed, or I missed, talking about this new moon that we had here on December 30th, and I wanted to talk about it. So, Capricorn energy here. Capricorn, the top of the zodiac, talks a lot about career, and this is big business and government. All right, this is how we govern ourselves. And Capricorn is ruled by or associated with the planet Saturn, which is kind of like the father energy of the zodiac and the limit, the adversary. Saturn, the adversary of the sun, the planet, the last planet that we can see. This is the center of our universe. Saturn, the furthest planet we can see with the naked eye. And Father Saturn over here in Pisces is about structure. Well, in general, Saturn is about structure, okay? And any words that we can associate with ST, structure, stern, strict. This room is big, that room is bigger. But that room over there is the biggest. You can fit a lot of people in here. You can fit more people in there. You can fit the most in that. You know, so it's like things that are STs, the maximum capacity of something. So in a sense, I would say though, the most specific way I would like to talk about Saturn in this particular instance, in this particular new moon, as we have our emotions aligning with self. All right, and our actions, our planet of actions, Mars retrograde, is moving from Leo back to Cancer. And this is extremely potent because Leo is associated with the sun, and of course the moon is associated with Cancer. So Mars is retrograding from Leo back into Cancer. So this is a rethink about our actions. Mars is all about actions. How are we acting? And of course, this is our ego here in Leo, the fifth house. How are we acting in general? How are we governing ourselves in the way that we're acting? How are we governing ourselves in our emotions? How are we governing ourselves in the way that our actions or our emotions, Mars retrograde, lead to our actions and our egos? And where are our egos allowing things to get to the better of us? We need to be strict, stern, disciplinarians on ourselves. This is a huge message. One of the biggest messages I got, and I had a lot of time to meditate down in the jungle and connect. I love when I go down to Peru. It's like a portal to just sit there and listen to the planets. All right, a lot of crickets and birds, but it's like listening to the planets. And it's like, in order to have a structure, in order to have this structure of my home, I have to have a strong foundation, but I need, these solid pillars. Without these solid pillars, my house would crumble. The foundation just would fall apart, okay? And with specifically, I'm going to go back to the chart here for a second. With Saturn, it's like in this dreamy place of Pisces, and Neptune has just been running amok here. And you're going to see when you're going to feel, my God, we will all feel this huge over the next couple years when Neptune leaves Aries and fully enters Pisces, of the disillusionment, the illusionment. This has been like a 16-year cycle. These outer planets move so slow. Since Pluto's been in Capricorn here, this is like the entire thing of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency from like 2008 to 2024. This is Pluto transforming in a certain sense of our money and how we govern ourselves there. And it's a free, radical kind of money and currency. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Bitcoin too much, but these outer planets move so slow and they're so generational. It's like we don't always necessarily feel them. It's something we see over a gradual time. And we're going to see, since I wish I could tell you, I don't have that off the top of my head, how long Neptune is in Pisces. I could just sit here and look it up. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it over here. But Neptune is all about, disillusionment and Neptune in Pisces. For how long? Dates. Disillusionment, it can be confusion, it's dreams and imagination. July 2nd to December, no, not retrograde. How long has it been there? From 2011 till 2026, okay, 2011. So we're going to see this from 2011 to 2026, but 2025, it's going to start dipping itself out and retrograde back in to 2026, and then it's going to come back out permanently into Aries, okay? But we're going to start to feel this energy moving forward again into Aries this year. And it's like getting out of the illusion, okay? This is extremely big because with the illusion, there is no structure and there is no walls. There's no defining anything. Nothing is defined, right? It's just like squiggle lines and it's ideas and concepts. And it's like we don't have firm structure. And Saturn is in this place right now where its jurisdiction, meaning its impact, it's harder. It's more difficult to deal with the Saturn in Pisces. It's like, how do we clean up our dreams, clean up our minds in a way, clean up this clutter, or try to focus in on our dreams, try to focus in on these things that don't, it's like things that don't necessarily, they're abstract, they don't make a lot of sense. Okay. So in this time, we gotta feel our way out. That's one of the things. It's like, okay, we're gonna lose our senses for a moment. We're gonna shut our eyes. We're gonna just open up our ears and learn to listen. Okay, so this is a different way of tuning in. Was one of the beautiful things about Neptune and Pisces. There's a lot of beautiful things about Neptune and Pisces. However, we're talking about structure right now, and it hasn't been easy as the lines of our structure and how we govern ourselves keeps getting blurred and pushed to the sides and pushed to the sides and pushed to the sides and pushed to the sides, or pushed further and further and further away. Meaning like, well, you know, this can get heavy. This can get complicated, but we have to be good parents to ourselves. If you're in a position right now where you're trying to quit something, if you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes, if you're trying to quit smoking weed, if you're trying to quit drinking alcohol, if you're trying to quit, drugs of any kind, Neptune, and this is big about drugs, escapism, escaping reality. If you're playing so many video games right now that you're addicted, this is like really highlighting addictions, and this new moon energy and leading through the rest of this month, okay, is really potent for us to say, hey, I have the willpower, I have the strength to be a disciplinarian in myself, to be the parent to myself, to put myself to bed at the right time, or a time for me to get up appropriately, and you know what I mean? Like, get things done. If it's like, hey, I started a New Year's resolution, follow through with your New Year's resolution. Go to the gym every day. If you said you're going to go to the gym every day, get up and go. This energy that we've got here is extremely forward momentum energy. At the same time, Mars being retrograde. So forward momentum stating like, be stern, be disciplined, stand up for yourself, and be definitive in your character. And it's like, again, with the Neptune and Saturn and Pisces stuff, it's like, well, I don't want to make a decision. It's almost like Libra energy, where the South Node is right now, okay? South Node, Libra, only not for much longer. North Node, Aries, you have to define yourself. Otherwise, the world's going to define you. And that's not very fair, is it? No. So this is about you and your journey. And then again, how are you acting and reacting? This is big. This is this Mars energy. So it's like, are people worthy of your time and conversation? Are people worthy of your time and conversation? Now, we're not necessarily talking about Geminis. That's up there in Sagittarius, which is about, well, let's talk about it. It's about higher information, philosophies, things like that. So religion, I love talking about that, you guys know. So it's like sharing these ideas and not being afraid to share these ideas. But as well, if I were to talk about astrotheology to a child, I can get so far in that conversation before either one, the child's just going to lose interest because it's really a bigger concept than what their mental capacity can handle. Now, that's not saying children are stupid or they're not going to be able to understand or grasp it. They just might not really care. Okay. or they're going to be told what their parents told them or whatever told them, and then they're already going to have this, and they could be kind of argumentative. At that point, what is the point? Well, no, little Billy or little Sarah, whatever, whoever I'm speaking with, it's like trying to argue a point or trying to logically, clearly state facts or how something might have gotten confused, and here's the resolution. Let me shine light on that. It's like they're not going to be able to have that capacity. And some people are like this as well, where they're just not going to have the capacity to hold the conversation, to follow through with the conversation. Some people are going to be simply reactionary and reacting off of their emotions and their ego. This is extremely important, why this Mars retrograde through Leo and Cancer is so potent. And with the December 30th new moon we had, Moon and Sun in Capricorn, it's only once a year that happens. And this is like, hey, time to remember, you have to be the parent to yourself, and you have to be your own. Like Hollywood people, sports people, not musicians so much, but a little bit. They're a little bit more radical. But like sports people, Hollywood people, they got PR reps, and if they say something or they do something that's kind of pushing the envelope or pushing the border or whatever, their PR rep is going to like put them in check. Their public relations person is going to, hey, we can't say this, or we can do this, we can't say this, or they're going to kind of cover their butts. They're going to have somebody else that's just like, their agent, somebody's looking out for them. Somebody's looking out to make, because their best interest is also their each other's best interest, because they make their cash cow. It's like, well, you're your cash cow, you're your best interest, and you have to act like it, and you have to be your own, again, disciplinarian and parent, and say, I should have said this, or I should not have said this, or I should not have acted this way. And we get to redefine ourselves, and that's one of the beautiful things about Saturn and Pisces and Neptune and Pisces is we are redefining. And in this retrograde right now of Mars, we're redefining our actions. Maybe I used to respond and react this certain way. Maybe I had an emotional reaction this way. Maybe my ego was insecure about this particular thing. And maybe because of my ego is insecure about topic A through B, Z, whatever, I would respond and react this way. And when we can see this ripple through, certainly through the United States and certainly through all cultures, where it's like we're responding very immaturely right now. We're responding not in a sense of dignity or grace or holding our head up high. And that's definitely the Capricorn go kind of way. And it's just like we all need to be reminded of this, certainly including myself. I'm a Cancer moon, so I can certainly be emotional. I can be reactionary. Right? And so anyway, it's like, are we giving people attention and energy that just simply don't need it right now? And this is a big thing. The Cancer energy is this mom and pop shop. You're my family, and I'm going to talk to you 1,000 times about maybe the same thing, but I'm not going to fire you because you're my family. So it's like, okay, you keep messing up this, or you're coming in 10 minutes late, and eventually it's just like, all right, well, you're my family member that works for me works at the store, and you come in 10 minutes late every day. It's not worth my emotional reaction to be so upset with you. So this is a double-sided thing right now. It's not worth it for me to have an emotional reaction about it every day. I want you to do this. I can simply dock your pay. That's like the Capricorn kind of energy saying, it's just like, okay, well, don't have an emotional reaction. Think about it in a business sense. I'm going to dock your pay. You're not here for that full hour. It's okay. I'm not going to pay you for the full hour. It's a simple solution. And if you have an emotional reaction about that, well, then you can show up on time to work, right? Now, on the complete other side of just Capricorn energy, it's not mom and pop shop. It's Wall Street. It's big business, and time is money, and you cost me time and money, and you're fired. And it's not emotional. It's not emotional at all. And I think this Capricorn energy, we all kind of need to drink in right now, because it's not always about us. And we make so much stuff about us because our egos are fragile and we want things to be about us, right? But it's not. Sometimes things are just happening and we're just a part of it. And it's not about us, so we don't have to have an emotional reaction to it. We don't have to insert our egos insert our whatever into the scenario. We don't have to stop and comment on it. We can just keep scrolling. We can allow the other person to just not be. And then further, again, we can cut them out. Cut people out. If you're finding yourself in these repetitive loops with individuals that are just bringing you down, 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 and you can't expand. Mercury wants to expand its mind right now. Its ruling planets, Jupiter, is in Gemini, So it's like Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, which is about all the information and specific information. These are trees, they're fig trees, these are plants, they're chacruna, whatever, you know what I mean? It's a specific thing over here, laser focused. So Gemini is about all the information, expansive information. And right now, all sides exist, all things exist, and we need to learn to appreciate, enjoy, accept, in a certain sense, and be able to have conversations and communicate, especially the hard, difficult conversations, the Capricorn difficult stuff. We need to be able to communicate and expand without, again, being super emotional and without adding our egos into it, but just to be able to communicate the facts of something. Okay. We also got this interesting, this is on December 30th, Mars and the South Node connecting with Pluto, and then Neptune here. That's a funky little connection. Again, this is like we're moving forward and changing and going into the future. We're transforming. This is a physical transformation, not just mental and emotional, but this is like how we act, how we react, how we respond, how we communicate. It's all connected, right? Everything is connected right now in this really beautiful way. Now, if we go forward a couple days to where we're at, we're going to watch the moon and Venus move together here on Friday, Venus's day. Boop, boop, boop. Look at that. Here we are, Friday. This is at noon, just a couple hours ago. This is 6 p.m. I'm putting this out. So Venus and the moon now move together into Pisces. And this is certainly worth talking about right now in the same new moon video. I mean, it's all related. This Capricorn energy remains. Redefine yourself. Be a good parent to yourself. Restructure yourself. You see that same, golden rectangle still existing. There's a specific name for it. I don't remember this rectangle, but it's a really nice, it's like getting stuff done. This isn't a hard square. This is all moving together. Stop letting other people rule your emotions. It's easier said than done sometimes, but the energy of the planets right now are helping us out and transform how we react and how we respond and how we show up in the community at large. All right, so now here we're going to have the moon, of course, over the next day and a half connect here with Saturn, as is like curbing our emotions. This is a curb check. So everything I just talked about here that started perhaps on December 30th is going to be curb checked tomorrow. It's going to be, today between January 3rd and January 4th. We can say up to 5th. But your emotions are going to be put into check, and it's just like, where are you allowing yourself to throw temper tantrums instead of the parent saying, stop, get up, let's go. Stop crying right now, get up and go. Stop throwing a pity party for yourself. Make some moves, figure it out. We're all just figuring out life. This is a fact. Nobody has all the answers. We are all just figuring out life. So blaming other people is just not the answer. What can you do? Take life into your own hands. This has been some of the biggest learnings or lessons that should have come to us with this North Node in Aries over the past 18 months almost, 16 and a half months. Okay, that's a long time. North Node in Aries saying, learn yourself, get yourself together. And during this time, again, now Saturn is saying, check your emotions. Where are you out of line? Let's make sure we're in an alignment right now. And those two are going to be connecting and making this beautiful sextile to the sun, how we govern ourselves in Capricorn. At the same time, we're going to have a little bit of rose-tinted glasses. Venus absolutely loves being in Pisces. I love Venus in Pisces. It's my 7th house. It's beautiful. Okay? However, there's a disillusionment around it. There can be the rose-tinted glasses. All right. But here it says we can dream, we can allow our love to be free. And an important aspect I would like to end this little astrology nugget on is like, no matter what's going on politically, no matter what's happening on government, no matter what's happening in the world outside, we're responsible for ourselves. We're responsible for our own happiness. And nobody can take that away from you unless you allow them to. Nobody can take away your joy. Even if somebody cuts you off in traffic, it's up to you how you respond. It's up to you how you have an emotional reaction. And maybe you have, through learned behavior, through not being a disciplinarian yourself, you allowed yourself to get upset, allowed yourself to be triggered. These are yours. They belong to you, and it's how you govern yourself. And right now we have this opportunity to re-fall in love with different aspects of life that we might have been overlooking. Re-fall in love with yourself. Re-fall in love in a healthy way. Re-fall in love with being disciplined. Re-fall in love with having a routine maybe. Or having more structure in your life. Or being more defined. Defining things. And sometimes people don't want to say, I am this. I am, I get it. I get it. But you're responsible for yourself and your own happiness and your own whatever you love. There's this beautiful movie called Adaptation I really like. And it's like, there's this quote in there that always just got me. And it's just like, it's what you love in life that makes a person who they are, not what loves them back. And we can really love a person with these rose-tinted glasses on right now. But they might not be our person. We can love them. But if they don't love us back, are we going to have an emotional reaction? Rethink it. Rethink how we respond. It's okay. Maybe they're not going to be a good partner for you. Maybe you have to go a different path. But you can still love that person. You can still love them. So there's a lot here with the expansion of love, expanding your own love, expanding what you do love, allowing yourself to love it. I mean, I walked into a bar down the street before I sat down here to do this just because I wanted to get a burger. I haven't had like meat, down in Peru. It's like a lot of chicken and fish. Delicious, delicious food. So many fruits and veggies. But I wanted a good burger. And there's this bar right down the road. But they're like a rowdy biker bar. They're playing Slayer and Primus. And I'm like, I like this. But it is like, of course, I'm the only person that's got like a sweater on and a button up. Everyone's kind of grungy, and that's fine. I dig the place. I dig the burger. That's why I went there. But some guy walks up. He's like, "Nice cardigan, man. I love a good sweater." And just like did it like just to kind of poke my feathers. And I was like, "Hey, thanks, man." But it's like and there's this not only like not having emotional getting upset by it. It's like I don't care. I just don't care. And there's this like freedom of like being yourself right now without the acceptance of others, right? Like I don't care. I'm gonna go to that place because I like the food, and that's why I go to some place. So it's like somebody, I don't have to necessarily fit into a type or a certain thing, right? To be accepted or to we don't have to look a certain way and dress a certain, and this is a big thing too. Like I see this, I'm going to extend this a little bit longer than I thought. Like the yoga community, I love yoga. I love the yoga community. I love people that are like forward thinking and like trying to expand their spirituality and stuff like that. And the yoga and spiritual world is kind of intertwined right now. It's like stepping away from religious stuff, but it's trying to be a community at the same time. But at the same time, it's cliquey as hell. Like if you're not wearing these flowy white clothes and talking this certain language, like, yeah, goddess, it's like, it's just like, oh my God, do we have to be that to just enjoy yoga? No, you can go in there wearing a, Meshuggah shirt or Slayer shirt. Again, you can do whatever you want. And as long as you love and accept yourself, which is this is so much of the big elements of this astrology right now with the Sun in Capricorn, North Node in Aries, Venus in Pisces, those are like super powerful ingredients of like, I love myself and I'm going to show up as I am and without a chip on my shoulder. Like, I don't like, yeah, this is me. This is what I do. This is how I'm going to, it doesn't matter. It's just doing it because you love it. And you love it because you do it. And that creates more love and more synastry and more synergy and positive energy. And everything is a vibration, and we feel that positivity ripple through us. So the more that we're just focusing on our self-love, and enjoying what we're doing and putting out into the planet, you know, other people are going to feel that. It's like this little light of mine, and just passing it on, passing it on, passing it on, passing it on. And people are just going to appreciate you for being you. And because you love what you love, people love that you love that. You know, people love what you love way more than want to hear what you hate. So focus on what you love. I love you. So I sit down here and flap my gums. All right, friends, I love you. I wish you enough. I wish you the best in 2025. We're starting off with a powerful astrology right now, and I've got a lot in store for you. So thank you for being a part of my journey and for allowing me to be part of yours. We'll see you next time.